The idea is you're looking in the wrong direction, and that's always fun storytelling. You know, Matt Damon is covered in blood riding a tricycle down the road, and everybody's blaming the next door neighbors who haven't done anything, you know, except be born, you know, and living in the wrong time in the wrong place.
Dark and twisted with a dose of heavy reality. This is Suburbicon.
This is a safe place. It was.
The Coen brothers put a dash of their personal touch on the upcoming thriller, starring Matt Damon and Julianne Moore, but it was director George Clooney who wanted to also shed light on racial tensions in America with the true account of the Myers family, the first black family to live in an affluent suburban community in the 1950s.
Well, you know, it's a funny thing. A couple of years ago when we started working on it, you were hearing all these conversations about building fences and about scapegoating minorities. And it seemed like a time to talk about and to remind ourselves that these are things that we have never divorced ourselves completely from. I grew up in the South in the 60s. And, you know, we'd gotten through segregation and the voting rights, and everybody sort of felt like we were moving in the right direction. And the truth is we haven't ever finished it.
Playing the part of Mrs. Myers, who is known as the Rosa Parks of the North, actress Karima Westbrook.
I feel like life is always communicating to us. So when people see Suburbicon, I hope that it can be very thought-provoking in a sense where it's like, wow, this is a film, it takes place in the 1950s, and look at what they're experiencing. And wow, this is 2017, and look where we're at today. How much have we actually changed?
I mean, there were some things that were kind of shocking, like, you know, the riot scenes that we filmed. To then see what happened in Charlottesville, I mean, we couldn't have planned for that, obviously, but it was alarming to see how closely you know, the rage in those riots was reflected in the rage in those incidents in Charlottesville. So I think George really was kind of stewing on these issues and what he was hearing on the campaign trail, you know, from the Trump campaign about, you know, scapegoating minorities and immigrants and building walls, and that was very fertile ground, I think, for him, why he kind of married these two stories together.
And speaking of stories, now that George is the father of newborn twins, will the Academy Award winner continue to make such dark and heavy films?
I think probably in 4 or 5 years, when I realize that I only have Fantastic Mr. Fox for my kids to watch of any movie I've done, I think probably I'll look around and start looking for some, you know, Smurf thing to do. But until then, you know, I can still keep doing the kind of films I want to do.
Suburbicon hits theaters on October 27th. For HipHollywood.com, I'm Ashley Williams.